let's do the snow one. Well, hello there and welcome to the channel. Now, our regular viewers will be familiar with me going through the newsfeed items that come through from some of our esteemed legacy media, and one such thing came through the other day, which was from one of my favourite TV presenters, Alan Titchmarch. And he released a snow warning to gardeners. So let's look into it, because if you're not aware of this, if you're further north and you're trying to grow some rather fancy plants or just regular plants, then depending on conditions you can get some rather severe damage and some expensive losses with your plants. So let's get to it. Let's tell you what the risks are, what you can do about it. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Snow can damage plants in two ways. The first one is damage through the weight of the snow, and the second is through the a cycle of freezing and thawing. Now, let's start with the weight of the snow. And there was something that Alan Titchmarsh said which sounds a little bit weird, but when I explain it to you, it'll all make sense and you'll realise that he is actually bang on. So let's start with the weight of the snow. This chair is so uncomfortable now the cushions have been put away. Now, if you've got a heavy snowfall and there is no wind, so the air is still and the snow is allowed to mound up quite considerable, what that causes is a problem, particularly on evergreen trees, simply because of the weight. They are not designed. Tree branches are heavy. I mean, talking about established trees, tree branches are heavy. You start adding more and more snow onto it, and then the boughs will start to bend. You know, in freezing cold temperatures you can get a snapping occurring. So where it is possible, if you start seeing a big build up of mound of snow on evergreen tree branches, you've got to knock them off to prevent damage later on, especially on juvenile plants, because the stems just won't be able to take it. So keep an eye on that one. That one's important. The second thing is a misshaping of plants, particularly topiary plants and hedging plants. Back in the day, you would have your hedges cut in like a pyramid with the top taken off. That's simply because you'd only have like a small flat surface, and when the snow comes off it, you just knock that bit off. If you leave it on, as the snow begins to thaw and refreeze, it becomes denser, and that adds weight. It goes back to what Alan Titchmarsh said. He said that as snow melts, it triples its weight. Of course, it doesn't triple its weight, but it can triple its density, which is different. But the fact is that as it melts, the water sort of like drips through and then sort of refreezes, and you get like a barrier of ice at the bottom of your mound of snow. And ice is considerably heavier than lovely light fluffy snow. So as this weight builds up on a smaller area, because as that mound reduces and freezes, then it's actually going to be supported by less branch work. So you've got less branch work holding a heavy material, and again that increases the risk of branches snapping, but in particular with topiary and hedging, as that sort of falls through, it sort of like pushes apart and damages the area where that snow is on. So what you'll get is a topiary and hedging which is sort of like pushed out to the sides, misshapes it, looks terrible and very, very difficult to get back into shape. For some reason nowadays we tend to do all our hedgings with straight sides. Whereas back in the day, where we knew what we were doing, we used to put slopes aside to mitigate, I keep using that word, the damage from heavy snowfall. The second big problem is the build-up of mounded snow on plants like tree ferns, on plants like palm trees. And what you can get is, it's fine while it's all soft and fluffy, because it acts as an insulation to cold air temperatures, but again during the day it'll start to melt, it'll start to have freezing water enter into the crown and refreeze overnight, and you can kill off the center of the crown. So that puts your tree ferns at risk, because if you kill the crown then you've killed the plant, and it can cause spear pull in palm trees. You see this a lot with the Canary Island palm in England. So you've got to knock all that out, and you might even be better off trying to brush it out or use a blower and blow the snow away. But be honest with you, protect the crowns, especially with tree ferns. Especially tree ferns, do not remove the foliage. Put in protective material in the crown, and then wrap those leaves up, and then you know you've done your job properly. But the amount of times I see people, they just cut the fronds off, put a bit of leaf in it, and expect that to work. It's never gonna work, which is why every year I see so many dead tree ferns. And it's not just like regular gardeners doing their suburban work. It's places like Wisley. Come on now, you should know better than that. So to conclude, in still conditions, be very aware of large amounts of snow mounding up on the limbs of evergreen plants. Get a stick, knock that off, that's absolutely fine. With regards to your hedges and topiary, just immediately get out there, and if it's settling on the top, take that off, because that's going to cause you a problem down the line. Now with your tree ferns, make sure that they are winter protected properly. I'll stick a little link in the bottom, because you can't get a link on here. So this is the thumbnail of the video, but you can't click on that because YouTube won't allow that. The link in the bottom. Regarding your palms, some of the palms are going to be absolutely bulletproof, like your Chamaerops humilis and your Trachycarpus fortunei. But even though, if you want to be absolutely sure, put some protection on it, get some fleece, wrap it up, no problem at all. And you'll definitely need to do that with the Canary Island palm, which is arguably your least expensive palm and sold in bucket loads in the spring. And they keep selling it in the spring because they keep dying, because they are not really hardy enough while they are young. And I've done a video on come on in. Right, so that's the thumbnail for winter protection and how to look after your Canary Island palms, and the link is in the bottom because you can't click on that. So spear pull is a massive issue with the Canary Island palm, but you know, once they get past a year or two, they can still suffer from spear pull, but they will grow through. But it does look ugly, let's be honest with you. Anyway, that is Alan Titchmarsh's snow warning to gardeners, and he's absolutely spot on. Apart from that, snow triples in weight. It's not, it's just the density increases as it melts. If you've got anything like to add to that, anything I miss, any sort of snow related issues that gardeners should be aware of that I haven't covered in this video, then put that in the comments. We would love to hear from you and get that information out to the other people who read the comments. So before I go, I'm going to wish you a Merry Christmas, because it is December now. And just check out this video on how you can support this channel. It's absolutely free, it doesn't cost you anything, and you can opt out at any time. It doesn't cost you anything, it's absolutely free, but it supports this channel no end. Anyway, thanks for watching. Just watch this bit. Right, now, just before you go, if you want to see more content, more behind the scenes stuff, and images that I've taken of some weird freaky plants over the years, then you're in luck, because we've created an Instagram page. So you can find the link in our description, you can find the link on our main page, and if I'm clever enough, I might be able to get a link somewhere up there. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you want to see more YouTube stuff, then check out this video here. That's quite a good one. And if it doesn't float your boat, then another one right there. And enjoy these while I've still got the strength, imagination and aptitude to make them. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.